Hello everyone, it's Julie Hedges here, live on the Tarot Journey with Monday Metta. I know I'm coming to you a little bit later than I normally do, but I had client things tonight, and so it was good. Plus, I set up a brand new, beautiful light here at the Tarot Journey headquarters, and I'm really loving it. It's super duper bright though, so I can't look directly at it. But welcome here. I know my camera might be a little bit sideways. I'm sorry about that. That's the best that I could do in the way I have it all kind of cobbled together. It would be really funny if you could see how I have this setup done. But I'm coming to you tonight for Monday Metta. Monday being our day to get together and talk about loving kindness. That's what Monday Metta is all about. It's time to just regroup every week and just to just love. Metta means loving kindness in action. It is a prayer. It is a meditation. It is an active way of being. And so I want to just come out every Monday and just interact with you, because I think together we can cover the world in loving kindness. Now, that doesn't mean being a doormat, and it does mean having our boundaries, and it does mean taking a stand for the things that are important to us and for our family and our friends and our time. Very much important, standing up for our time. Loving kindness includes ourselves. So with that, I want to talk tonight about drum prayers and drum healing. And what does that mean? Well, we've experienced these devastations, right? So the recent wildfires in California, the earthquake and the tsunami that was last week in Alaska, the hurricanes and the flooding as a result of those hurricanes. We've had a lot of natural disasters and climate change reports and news reports and all things going on top of the earth and within Grandmother Earth. And I'm a person who believes in prayer. I'm a person who does very active prayer. I use the whole timbre of my being when I pray. I do a lot of singing as prayer, and I also do a lot of drumming as prayer. And so I'm going to show one of my drums here. This is one of my drums that I used to pray along with the water protectors at Standing Rock. Standing Rock, if you remember, in 2016, for almost a year, 2016 to 2017, thousands of people gathered in a tiny little place in North Dakota, very cold place in North Dakota, to pray for Grandmother Earth, to pray for the water, to do sacred ceremonies there. And so I joined them from my little place here in southern Indiana on the banks of the Ohio River. I joined them in prayer while they were praying at the Cannonball River and the Missouri River, praying for their sacred lands and their sacred treaty lands, and to try to stop the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline, the oil pipeline that was going to go under the Missouri River. They just wanted it rerouted away from their sacred treaty lands. And so I used my drum to pray along with them. And so what is a drum prayer? For me, it's getting into the beat of my own heart, but using my drum. And I know it might sound different where you are. It probably doesn't resonate in its fullness, the voice that my drum has. This is just one of my drums. This is a Remo Buffalo drum, but it is my drum, right? It's one of my healing drums that I use when I do drum healing events and drum prayers, and that I work with clients and in classes. I use this drum. It's one of my healing drums because of its voice. And so my body becomes the mallet to give voice to this drum here. And so how do I do it? I feel it in my heart, whatever beat that I need to resonate with for my prayer. Prayer of thanksgiving, a prayer of protection, a prayer of healing, a prayer of manifestation, a prayer of entity removal, a prayer of space clearing, a prayer of bringing in the rain, a prayer for the new moon, a prayer at the full moon. Whatever that prayer is, I feel it in my heart, whatever beat. And then I resonate that with my drum. I'm thankful to have been taught by very wise and knowledgeable and beautiful mentors and teachers about drumming. And so the way that I work with my drumming, the way that I do that is especially in a group setting. We will set an intention. Hi, Tracy. Connie Waters here. Hi, Rob. Thank you all for showing up tonight. If you want to put something in the chat room, hopefully it'll show up. I just saw Tracy's lovely words there. Thank you. I love your encouragement. I appreciate you. So the way that I work is we put an intention in our circle as a group, and then we all drum in unison together. And whoever is the leader of that round, sometimes it's me, sometimes it's someone else who's leading that drum round. When that person feels like the prayer is complete, the prayer is ready to be, capped off, so to speak, then we will stop. Then we'll noticeably speed up. And then 5 callback beats. Callback beats. What's that? Well, if you've ever been in a drumming circle, if you've done drumming for yourself or drum healing work, then you know with that beat, that's a beat that can take your mind places, can take your heart places, can let your spirit soar while your body is making the motion. And that resonance with Grandmother Earth, you can actually do some real healing work. You can go places. And so that callback beat is just an agreement of spirit to say, hey, okay, that prayer is releasing, and so everybody come on back to be together in this space and time. So there's that callback beat. And so whatever we are doing, Connie's saying she'll be watching tomorrow night with Neshi. Yes, I want to invite everybody who's here with Monday Metta tonight to join Neshi and me for the Star Nations Tuesday program that we are going to be doing drum healing work. So this is going to be a participatory activity where you can pray right along with us wherever you are on Grandmother Earth. Maybe you're out there on the West Coast and you're experiencing the wildfires. Maybe you're on the East Coast and you lived through the hurricane. Maybe you're wherever you are. Maybe you're in a snowstorm up there, my friends in Michigan. Wherever you are on Grandmother Earth, you can join along with your drum or your rattle. I don't have my healing rattle out right now. I just have my drum. But we are going to talk about drum prayers and what that means. And we are going to be doing some praying. And tonight I want to share a prayer with you to let you know how much this time is special to me. I remember, and I talked with Neshi about this over the weekend. I remember this time of year in 2016, December 4th, which would be tomorrow, December 4th, 5th, and 6th, that weekend in 2016, that the veterans, the United States veterans of the armed forces, all met up in Standing Rock. They were personally called to go, not that they were stationed up there, but a group of veterans went up to Standing Rock to be with the water protectors in standing up for Grandmother Earth. Our veterans went up there to be protectors for the water protectors that were praying and doing ceremony on behalf of Grandmother Earth, on behalf of what is sacred. And so it was on December 4th of 2016, 2 years ago. You can go back and look at that and look up some news reports on 2016 at that time when the veterans arrived up there. There was a landmark decision by the Army Corps of Engineers. That was the group, the government agency that provides the approvals and the permits for drilling and doing work such as drilling for new oil wells or oil pipelines in this case. The oil pipelines, they are the ones who grant all the land permits to do that kind of work. And so on December 4th of 2016, the same weekend that the veterans arrived up there at Standing Rock, the Army Corps of Engineers denied the permit to drill. So all this work had been going on all this time, since the springtime. Energy Transfer Partners was building that Dakota Access Pipeline. But on December 4th, after months and months and months of ceremony and thousands of people, and I'm going to say millions of prayers from around the whole earth, millions of prayers, the Army Corps of Engineers denied that permit. It said that the Energy Transfer Partners building the pipeline would have to do proper environmental studies before completing the construction of the pipeline. And that was a landmark decision. There were so many historic landmarks of that time, of that historical time frame. The clergy from all over the United States went up to Standing Rock in October, and they publicly and ceremonially denounced and burnt the doctrine of discovery, the papal doctrine of discovery, that really paved the way for Christendom to go out into all the world and conquer the lands for the church. And whether the natives were there or not, that doctrine of discovery that has ruled the world for 500 years, they ceremonially burned it and denounced it publicly. Wow. I mean, that just gets me in the feels right there. That happened in October. In December, the veterans went up. Not only did they pledge themselves to be the protectors of the water protectors, they also apologized to the First Nations people for all of the atrocities that have been suffered them from the government, from the soldiers on that sacred land. Whew! Right? So even though the pipeline was completed and it is operational, and they have had several spills that they were all worried about in the first place. They have had several spills since it became operational. Even though we have energetic prayer ripples throughout all time, backward and forward, that this land all the land that we are on, of Grandmother Earth, of Turtle Island, North America, is sacred and should be kept sacred. So that's what I was thinking about over the weekend, and that's what I talked with Neshi about, and I said, hey, I'm really feeling a call in myself to do some drum prayers, and I want to invite people to do that with me. What do you think about that? And so we talked about it. Drum prayers for Grandmother Earth. And I'm going to share a prayer with you tonight. It's a prayer that, thank you, Tracy. It's the last song that the water protectors prayed, the last prayer song that they prayed as they marched out of camp, as they were evacuated on February 22nd of 2017. That was the final deadline, 2 p.m. 2/22/2017 at 2 p.m. was the deadline for them to evacuate the camps or else be under arrest. The law enforcement would come in. They prayed this prayer. This is the water song, the Mini Wachoni song. This is the last prayer that they prayed as they prayerfully and ceremonially left the camp to go out into all the world. So yes, we know what happened. They had to shut down the camps. But, Standing Rock has ignited a movement all over the world. And there are still water protectors going strong in all directions of the United States. Mississippi is one of them. Up in Canada, they're still going strong. We don't hear about them as much because it's not, I don't think it's as concentrated right now. It's because all of our prayers, all of the prayers, wherever you were praying for Standing Rock, all of your prayers went into the water where you are. And we know that the water is all related. Mitakuye, we are all related. In fact, I'm getting a little off track here, but I think it's important to share this. Where I am, I have the mighty, muddy Ohio, my beautiful river. And so it was early in the fall of 2016 that Spirit told me very emphatically to take my drum and to go pray with the water. It was very specific. Spirit said, pray with the water. Not to pray for the water, not to pray over the water, to pray with the water. And I'm thinking, that's kind of an odd way to give me a directive. What do you mean, pray with the water? And Spirit said it's because all of the water on all the world is related. And so the prayers that the water is praying and the prayers that you are praying, you're praying together. And so the water where I am, the mighty, mighty Ohio, is praying with the water of the Cannonball River and the Missouri River up there at Standing Rock. So it doesn't matter where I'm standing or sitting or drumming, I'm praying with that water. So I would take my drum and I'd go sit right out there on the water and I would pray. I would sit there for 2 or 3 hours and I'd drum and I'd pray and I'd sing and I'd pray with the water. We were praying together. And it was really interesting because I haven't seen this before or since, that when I would do my drum prayers, these fish would just jump out of the water. Like, hey, how you doing? Here I am. Yeah. So I was praying. Hi, Holly. I was praying with the water, and all of the creatures of the water were praying too. So I'm going to pray this prayer. Kind of gets me in the feels still here. But this was the last prayer that they prayed when they were walking out of the camps in February after being shut down by the authorities. This is the Mini Wachoni, Water is Life song. So, in your heart, when you pray with me, the song is in Lakota, and that was one of the major songs, major anthems that was sung throughout the whole time up there in Standing Rock. It's you can find it on YouTube. It's the Cherry Creek Singers, the Mini Wachoni song. So if you're interested in finding that version, the Cherry Creek Singers Mini Wachoni song in Lakota. And I might butcher the translation. Thank you, Connie. Thank you. I might butcher the translation, but it roughly says, Grandmother Earth, you are holy. And Mini Wachoni, water is life, it is holy. And DAPL, DAPL, Dakota Access Pipeline, they're bad. But all of the people are gathered together. So that's really what the song is about, is that Grandmother Earth, you're good, you're holy. Water is life, it is holy. The Dakota Access Pipeline is not good for us, called the Black Snake. But we're all gathered together. And so wherever you were in 2016, even if you're just hearing about this now, if you've never heard about what is Standing Rock and what is the Dakota Access Pipeline and what is all this, even if you're just hearing about it now and hearing about the sacred treaty lands and the waters of Grandmother Earth, you are gathering together with all of those, with all of us, all over Grandmother Earth who have prayed and who have been praying and who have gone to rallies and drum prayer events and have cried and prayed and walked and done ceremony for Grandmother Earth. You are joining them. So that's really what I wanted to talk about tonight in Monday Metta, in our time of loving kindness and praying together and being together. And so we want to do the Metta prayer together with me. And we start with ourselves and then to the other and then to all beings. So we start with, may I be at peace. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be free. May you be at peace. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be free. And then all beings, may all beings be at peace. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. Rob is saying, I find the performance interesting. It's not a traditional native way of singing, but it's the way you sing, which is obviously a style I like. Yes, it is the way I sing. I tried to keep the beat the way that I learned it from, listening to it online specifically, keeping that beat. But I do have more of a lyrical style, but I am singing right from my heart. And as I was singing, I was feeling the way I felt in 2016 when I was really praying right along with them, praying for the water. And the sense of victory that I felt on that day, December 4th, 2016, when there was such celebration and announcement that the Army Corps of Engineers was listening, and they denied the permit and said, you've got to get the right studies. And even though it was a temporary victory, because we know how that chapter ended and how things really changed at the beginning of 2017, it was real, and it was a change, and it was so powerful. Feeling that now as I was just singing that song, and obviously, it's coming out my eyeballs. But this is what I love doing with Monday Metta, is sharing loving kindness for each other, for the world. And so I hope that you would like to join in tomorrow for drum prayers as we actually do drum praying together. Your drum, your rattle, from wherever you are. And hey, if you're not able to join us live, then get your drum and pray with us when it is your time to be able to join us, because you can join in. You can pray with us whenever and wherever you are. So with that, I'm going to end the way I always end, with this blessing from my heart to yours. May the peace that surpasses all human understanding be with each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me every time on Monday Metta Live. I really appreciate it. Om Shanti and good night.